In this lesson, I'd like to show you some things to consider when you're switching from one theme to another inside of PowerPoint. I'd also like to show you some pitfalls when switching themes and how you can reverse or correct the pitfalls that you run into. First, on this brand new blank presentation, I'm going to come out here and type in some sample text. Now, if I come out and take a look at my design tab up here at the top, I can see that out of all of my design templates displayed, this is the one that has the highlight on it, and this is the template I'm currently using. If I point at it, it tells me this is the Office theme, which is just the default theme that you get whenever you start a new presentation by default. One of the ways you can take a look at some of the default colors for this theme is if you go click on your text and go back to the Home tab and then click on the font color, you can see the palette that's being used for your different theme or font colors. They all match and go together. Likewise, if I go to my Slide Master view and I take a look at colors here and then go down to Customize Colors, you can see all of that same palette that lives out here and where these colors are being applied on the slide. Cancel, click back on my slide view. Now likewise, if I go to my design view and I click on a different theme, I'm going to get some different colors taking place out here. And if I go out now and go back to the Home tab and click on the font color box, you can see that these palette of colors has changed now from one palette to another. So let's say I make a change to this text. I'll come out and select the text. I will move out to my font colors. I'm going to pick a different color from the list. I'm going to come down here to the third row and choose the second to the last color out here for my sample text. The thing you need to remember here is if I go to my Design tab and then choose a different theme from the list here, perhaps I'll choose this guy, you can see that my sample text has changed. And if I click inside this text and go back to my Home tab, you can see what's taking place. I'm down in the third row, second to the last. So it's using the same position from the palette, but because the whole palette has changed colors, it just grabs the color that's currently in this position on the palette and uses it. I'll go back to my original Office theme here. Now, what happens if I come out here and click on this text, and then I will go to my Home tab and I will pick a color that's not in this palette. Say I pick a color from my list here, or from more colors, you can go to the color wheel and pick a color. If you don't choose a color from this list, you're choosing, say, a user-defined color, and I'll pick just color red here. And at this point, PowerPoint will say hands off. Don't make any changes to this color when you switch themes, because this is a color that the user has set and they assume that you don't want this color changed. So if I come out here and change to a different theme, you can see that even though the title is green in this case, or if I come down and choose this guy, we're not going to get the exact same red color here when I choose these different themes. It's going to stay that same red colored text that I had before. Same applies for, say, polygons. If I come out here and draw, say, a perfect radial, and then I make a copy of that radial, and I'll come out to this guy and I'll choose fill, but I won't choose one of these colors. I will choose a color from, like this blue color here, from the standard user colors. Again, when I come back out here and go to Design and choose a different design theme, you can see this color, my user-defined color, will stay the same for the polygon and the title text, but the polygon will change. This guy was the original, and it will change as I come out here and choose different theme colors. So choosing a different theme, this is still red and this is still blue. Now in the case of the polygon, all I really have to do is just right-click this guy, go down to Fill, and try to find the fill color that matches my original here. Or I can just pick a color from the palette that you think will work for this guy. I just happen to know that this was the original, so I could just choose this guy. But the text is going to be a little different. Not only did we change the color of this text, we don't know what the title text is for this guy. We could go out and guess, but sometimes these palette colors can be user defined for the theme, and they could be very slight variations, and it might be tough to get the exact color. So here's what you might do instead. You might come out here and select your slide on the left and copy and paste a slide to make a copy of the slide, and then from here you want to come up to your Home tab, and on the copy make sure your copy is selected, although it doesn't really matter, and I'm going to reset the slide. Now what resetting the slide will do is it resets the slide back to the default basic slide that you would get if you hadn't changed anything and used a different theme. So we're right back to home base where we wanted to start here. The problem with resetting the slide is it's really volatile. It will reset the positioning of all your placeholders. If you have changed the position of text within the placeholder, it will reset all of that as well. So it's pretty damaging. That's why I made a copy of it, because all I want to do is just find out this text. Now if I click on this text and come back here, I can see that this text lives right out here. It's in the second to last row, the second one over. That is the text that's being used here. So I could come back out here to my original slide, select this text, and without resetting it, I can just go to the colors and go down here to the second to the last row, second color like this, and pick from that list. And now I could go back and just delete this copied slide. I really don't need it anymore. But when I go back to my design view and I pick this guy, it's going to follow the original colors. Even if I come back out and choose a different theme down here, everything's going to match up, so I should be okay.